G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to Man Cave Tuesday. Hope you all had a ripper week. What do we got going on in this video? Just the bloody trailer. I think that's all I got going on. The trailer, BB news, a couple of other little bits and pieces. I know, mailbag time, and let's go. Redback. Let's get into the Redback. Hang on guys, and Pete's got his episode 2 of the truck build. Right, guys, this is most probably for the international guys. So what I've done is I'm just going to start working on the trailer, trying to swap those the springs around. These were around the back of the shed. There was cobwebs in them. These are metal, so my instinct, or my spidey instincts, tell me that there's most probably going to be a redback in there. Number one tell is that it's a very messy web. They make a really messy web. And then I can tell also there is the redback egg sac thing. And as I'm cleaning it out, she is in there, which I'll get her out for you to have a bit of a look. This one is yet to be cleaned out, but yeah, you can just see how it's really a messy bloody setup that they do. All right, let's just get this one out. Can't see. Where's my little broom? This one looks as if it's empty. Gotta watch out for all the little crevices. Righto, that one's good to go. See if we can get this bugger out. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to use a bit of white paper. So hopefully if we get him out, or her I should say, I'll need a stick. Rightio, let's see if we can pop her out. Come on. There she goes. Now she's looking like she's dead. I think she's on her way out. That's really weird. She was moving around a minute ago. Yeah, obviously on her way out. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, there you go. She was playing. Oh, she was playing funny buggers. She is. Oh, well and truly, where are you? There you are. Well and truly alive. I can't say I've ever seen a redback do that, play dead like that. That was a brilliant strategy. So if you weren't too cautious, and you just kind of like thought it was dead and you picked it up, which I would never do that, not with a redback at least. Yeah, she'd bloody give you a bite. Off to the hospital you go. And look, redbacks, nasty bite, can kill you. I think a lot of the times, it's not a certain thing. If you get bitten by a redback, the fucking paper moved and made me jump. Yeah, it's not certain death. You know, you could die, but in these days, nobody dies from redback bloody spiders. You just don't want to get bitten by one because it hurts. I believe. I've never been bitten. Righto, just thought I'd share it with you. Rightio guys, sorry, I've got my sunglasses on. It's very bloody glary out the front here. So the trailer is there. It's all been washed up. Yeah, some people were saying about the chains. As you can see, I just went to Super Cheap, got one of these. This was one long piece, cut it in half, and that's enough to fix that up. Got rated shackles. The other thing that people wondered whether the, this thing was long enough. I've actually still got extra and I have a double adapter thing so that this can go onto a straight or the round pin. So the first bit of work that I've done is I've cut off a big strip of metal that is through there. This came out, was about, I don't know, maybe 10 mil past here. So that means that when I put that thing up against here, it's going to be flat and there'll be no gap there, because there and there all protruded out. So now I'm going to try, so I've got to get these wheels off. Whoop, where are you there? Wheels off. They're going to be painted black, obviously all cleaned up, then painted black. And I've got this set up here. So that's gonna, I've got to jack this up, so I might as well use my bloody high lift bloody jack or whatever. Lift that up and take the wheels off, chuck them out the back, and then take the springs off and then swap them to the top. But I'm going to play it by ear. I might have to get new springs. They look pretty rusted, but this trailer's, you know, I've always kept it, any of the big loads that I've done, which would have been, you know, within the weight range, it's only been on tar and it's only been not too far. The rest of the time, this trailer is always never chock-a-block full of, you know, doing corrugations with, you know, big heavy loads on it. So everything's in really good nick. Righto, so the first thing I've got to do is to bloody loosen off these. Now I'm using this. This is the toolkit from out of the Jeep that's always here. So because the Jeep wrench for the tyres on the wheels on the Jeep doesn't fit these particular nuts. So it's always good to make sure that you can, you know, use, I'd already loosened that one a little bit just in case you saw that, that you can use your tools when you're out in the middle of bloody nowhere. Brilliant, they weren't too tight at all. Remember guys, if they're really tight, don't use your upper body, use your bloody leg muscles. They're way bigger. Righto. Suppose when I mean leg muscles, just in case you didn't understand that, do this to loosen it up. That way you don't bloody strain yourself as much. Pro tip for the old blokes. These aren't too tight, so I'm not busting my pooper valve. Not too much anyway. Righto, should be right. Cool. Okay, next job, this in the centre. Make sure I'm going to be on something hard. There we go, now we're starting to lift. Now, pop him up. Oh, just so you know, so basically I've still got this hooked on here and I've got the jockey wheel holding, so I don't have too much pressure, I don't know, whatever. Oh, we're off the ground. We are on that side not quite. Quite the bloody lean. See if she spins. Beautiful, that'll do the trick. Now if I let this down, Oh, why is that not going down? What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong, guys. I've got to be careful with these friggin' jacks. Rightio, guys. WD-40 to the rescue. Alright, so that down. That's why these things are fucking dangerous.
Oh, they're the devil.
Yeah. Anyway, it gets the bloody job done. Cool. Rightio. One tyre. Two tyres. Rightio guys, so I'm just looking at these hubs, and I always, when we're doing big trips and stuff, I'm always, after we've been going, you know, you touch them to see if they're getting hot, and they never get hot. I'm just looking at these things, they spin really good. There is no movement in that, so I reckon these are still bloody good. I was thinking of maybe replacing the hubs, but I might just give them a grease up. Anyway, rightio guys, so I'm trying to bloody get, I can't see this screen, it's really hard out here. So this is what we got. See how the spring underneath there is under? Well, we want these springs to sit on top, is the deal. Now these are slipper, so this end just slips in and out on that side there. And then here is where you've got your eye bolt side. So all I've got to do is undo this bolt, get that, and on obviously the other side, and then this will drop down, and then just slide it out of there, I think. Oh, bloody getting hot. I've never done this before. I've watched lots of bloody YouTube channels, so this is the first time, so don't listen to what I'm doing. Watch professional guys bloody doing it on other channels, but it might give you a heads up if you want to do this to your trailer. Now remember, doing this gives you more clearance, but it doesn't allow you, because you've got more clearance doesn't mean you can have more weight on it. Your trailer is weighted, this is 750 in total weight. That's it, doesn't matter what you do with adjusting that, if you know what I mean. Yep, cool. Just looking at that there, that looks like a bloody, yeah, I reckon I've bloody hit there. Yeah, I reckon that there has hit in there. That might be something to do with this bloody slipping out. That there should be in there. Righto. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just spray some bloody WD-40 all over this on the back side and let that sit. I'll go and have some lunch and then we'll try and remove that. Rightio guys, so you'll see I've got a man crate underneath that axle because I'm putting my head underneath this bloody trailer. Now, I've already had a shot, I didn't have my audio going. So you can see that this whole thing is moving, but the nut is jammed on. So I can't, I've tried hammering it, it's just not coming. So I'm gonna have to heat that nut up. The nut is bloody just, yeah, see it on there. So, get this little baby out. And get some heat going on it. Oh man, that is just so hard jammed on. Oh, righto. Righto, come back to you. Righto guys, I could be whacking that till the friggin' cows come home. You want to see what's holding this bloody nut on? Rightio, I just thought I'd bloody turn this around a bit, and then I went, what the hell is that? That is weld. So they've welded that so that nut does not come off. So I've got to cut that. I'll most probably bloody just cut it right off because I'm going to replace those anyway. Hey, how's that? Eventually you bloody get it. I know there was no audio, I was chatting to you, but shit happens. You got the visuals of it. Now I've got to punch that bolt from the back, punch that through. Oh, so that man crate is now that the axle. Yeah, the axle is now supported on there. Otherwise, this would just drop straight down. Righto, guys, I'll get that other side done. So now I know I just have to cut the bolt off because of that weld. I don't know if you heard that, but there was weld. They'd weld the nut on there, and then I'll just be able to screw it out. And Bob's your uncle. Rightio, guys. So I've got this other side. I've just got to pop this out. I don't know what's going to happen. Should just... There we go. Nice. So I should be able to... I should be able to just slide out, hopefully. But I've got it resting hard on that crate. Hopefully I can... lift this out somehow. Righto, Mark, be smart, don't drop this on your foot. Oh, shit, hang on. There we go. And she is off. Bloody ripper. Rightio, guys, so that is all that off. Now, I'm not sure if this one is, but I believe sometimes they have a natural curve in these, what do you call it, bloody axles. So I'm going to, when I do a bit of a clean up before I take that stuff off, clean this up a bit, I'm going to mark the top, mark the top of it so I know that it goes in the same way, because you want the bend to go that way, not that way. I'm not too sure whether that one actually has it or not. Righto, tyres have got to get cleaned up now. And I'll be replacing all these things, and obviously the bolts out of there will be replaced as well. Now, even though these springs are, they're rusty, I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Someone will most probably scream at me, but I'll see you. Haven't made my decision yet. Rightio, guys, time to let you know where I'm up to. Got a few things on the go. Now, the other day I was showing Matt some of the stuff that I was doing here. He'd come over and we looked in and we went, holy shit, there's a whole lot of water in there. This had been shut, it was outside, and we did have rain, a fair amount of rain overnight, but it was all closed up. I couldn't believe it. There was bloody water in it, so it was leaking. We were trying to bloody find, we found there's one pinhole there. So we got the garden hose on it and we're bloody spraying it all over it and trying to get it to, and I was watching and it was hardly coming through. And then what we ended up doing was, oh, hang on, I've got to hold this and close at the same time. Then he started spraying over there, and what we found was it was leaking through here. So, bloody hell, dodgy as bloody what, because when you read the advert of these things, it's like, oh yeah, keep the bloody, your stuff from bloody getting wet and dust and all that bullshit. But then on the inside, there's an actual sticker, like a warranty type thing saying, you know, don't come at us because it's not waterproof, it's not dustproof. So, yeah. So what I've done is I've just got Celastic, and I've done all the way around that and on the inside of it as well. So hopefully that'll do the trick, but I'll have to do a test of it. But yeah, lucky that it did rain and that I seen there was, because there was a fair amount of bloody water in there. Geez, it would have been, yeah, I've had all my gear in there, bloody hell. Now the other thing is I got those tyres off. So they've washed up all right, but as you can see, there is, you know, there's where all the stains get, because the trailer always gets the bloody worst brunt of all the stains and shit. But the front's not too bad. It's not until you go over to the back side of it, and as you can see, a whole heap of rust. It's not bad rust, you know, it's not like your things are going to fall apart or anything. So what I'm doing is using the old wire brushes, clean up all the rust, sandpaper it over, and when you change your logo, your old business cards are no good anymore, so they've worked really well. That's a bloody brilliant way of doing it, because when I did the Jeep, I used masking tape. Whoop, where are you? Using that, but as you're going around, because it's a circle, it all wants to kink up, and it's a lot of bloody stuff arsing around. This, man, you just pop them around and away you go. So, so the inside, like this isn't, you can see, like, it's lots of, because I've done a lot of bloody scrapping to get all the rust off. These are trailer tyres. I'm not too fussed about the finish on these. What was I going to say? Oh, so what I'm using, because I've used this before on the trailer, and this is really good stuff actually. So the Quit Rust, that's what's getting sprayed on there, and then I'll finish it up with that epoxy enamel, the satin black. This stuff is absolute brilliant. Virago tyres, Matt's done it on his tyres. I keep saying tyres, I mean the rims on the Virago, the rims and stuff on the CB250. Matt's done it on his bloody rims. I've got it now on my Jeep, so it'll be good to see how that fares up on that, but I know it just does a bloody good job. Right, so that's where I'm up to at the moment. The trailer and I always want to say shaft, the axle, I've used a rust converter on that stuff. I actually run out. I've got to go to Bunnings tomorrow and get some more to finish off the trailer. So hopefully tomorrow that should have done the job on that, but we'll see how it goes. Righto.
G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to episode 2 of the truck build. Let's get into it. Okay guys, before we get started, just thought I'd give you another look at my workbench. Lighting is very important, so here's a tip for modelers. So I've got a fluoro light directly above the workbench. I've also got those LED lights here and here that really light up the workspace so you can see what you're doing. Also got a nice comfy chair to sit on. And you'll just see on the side here, this is where I'll mount the camera for the overhead shots looking down. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, as I discussed in the first episode, that I've done most of step 1. So step number 1 is actually a sub-assembly A. This whole thing is sub-assembly A, and that refers to, further on down the instructions, you'll see that A there is referring that all these bits here glued onto sub-assembly A. So moving back here, all I need to do now is get these two parts, those two parts and those two glued in, and then step number 1 will be finished. So you can see that's got 11A, 12A, 11A, 12A and 9 and 10B. So the A here signifies which sprue it's on. So looking at the instructions, there's pictures of each sprue. And there you go, there's sprue A, sprue B, and so on. I'll try not to move this camera too fast, but anyway. So we want 11, going back over here, we want 11 and 12A. So I'll just grab this. So this is the sprue with all the parts on it. Now this is number A. I'll show you that. Just at the torch, just to light it up. It's got 779A. I'm not sure what the 779 means. More of a moulding thing, but that's A. That's what we want. And those bits that we're after, which I'd already just previously cut out as well. So I just cut these off. So these are the bits that we're after. I'll just shine the torch on it just so you can see. You can see 11 and 12 there. That's 12. So on the sprue itself, each part you can see the numbers. Not sure whether you can pick that up or not. So that's how you tell which part you need. Okay, so like I said, I've just cut these bits out. Now we'll work on those. Okay guys, I'm about to cut these parts off. This is what I use. This is little modelers pliers. Really handy for cutting the parts off the sprues. So just show you. Cut them off. So there we go. Now the next step is to clean these parts up and then glue them together. Okay, another tool I use, this is one of the, just a sanding stick. Has slightly different roughness on each side. And when I say clean them up, all you're doing is just cleaning off any excess plastic that was left on when you cut them off the sprue. So these are pretty good. I just give them a light sand each piece, and then we'll glue them together. So they're not too bad. You'll see one's got holes in it and the other one's got pins in it to locate when you glue them together. Hope you can see that. Okay, this is the glue that I use. It's Tamiya extra thin cement, it's called. So I'll just show you that. So unscrew it. It's got a little applicator brush there. I've got the two parts here. We'll just put them together. And what I've got, another little trick of mine, just using pegs. There's your normal peg, and I've just turned them around to give you a little clamping device. So just hold them together, and then with the glue, you just run the glue along the join, and through capillary action, the glue goes along the join. Simple as that. Don't get glue on your hands that way. Dries pretty quickly. Here's another one. I've just got those together, and we'll again glue those. So just thin little bit of glue along the join. And there's those two glued together. Now the other part I've already done as well, and I'll tell you about this bit. Okay guys, now that the glue is dried, it's time to clean each part up. We've got to try and remove that join line that's in them. So I'll take them out. And we do that, there's various methods we do. You can use a just your normal hobby knife. You can sort of scrape along the join line there as well. Sort of remove any excess plastic. And also using the sanding stick, you can also sand along those joins, even on the ends here as well. And the idea is to clean the part up so there's no, you shouldn't see any of the join lines, so it should look exactly like the real thing in real life on the truck. So you wouldn't expect to see join lines on these things. So I'll just spend some time cleaning these up. There's also another little tool that I use. It's called a flexi file. These come with replaceable bands there that have got different grits on them. You can see there's another one there. And how you use these is, again, you can just sand sand components like that. Very handy on aircraft, these things, or any sort of cylindrical surface. You can even cut these as well if you want them thinner, because it just doesn't quite, it does fit in there. But if it doesn't fit, you can also thin these down so that they'll fit into these hard to get places. So yeah, I'll just spend time cleaning those and I'll get back to you. Okay, I've spent some time cleaning these parts up. Not sure whether you can see that or not. But anyway, I even use wet and dry sandpaper just to smooth things right off, which I've done all along the edges just to clean them up as best I can. So there they are there. Now the other trick I do is I'll just show you how I fill some of these gaps. If there's any little gap in that join, there's a gap, so along there where that join is, there's still a little bit of a gap. Another product I use, Mr. Surfacer 500. This is sort of like a putty, cost $8.90. Take this off and just using a toothpick, just dip it in there, and then I'll get the other one, just dab it along the join there, like that, and then I'll let that dry, and then you sand it off, and that will smooth it all out. So this is what I've done with this other component. I've put that all around. Did it earlier today. Probably leave it for about 24 hours for it to really harden up, and then you can sand it all back. But that's all I do. Alrighty, we'll put them aside, let them dry, and we'll call that quits for this episode. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed episode 2. Now in episode 1, with the chassis, I said I was going to paint this gloss black. Actually, speaking to Chappie, he said a lot of the trucks nowadays, they paint them blue or red rather than gloss black. So he sent me some photos of a Mack truck that had a blue chassis. I thought it looked really cool, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll paint this blue. So look guys, anyone's interested in the modelling, please leave comments, or I can answer any of your queries or questions. So I hope you enjoyed that. Back to the man cave.
Bloody ripper, Pete. Good on you, mate. Thanks heaps for that. Rightio, guys. Life has been kicking me in the arse. This trailer, lots of bloody things. I feel like I am so behind, under the pump. I've got so much pressure. I'm putting this pressure on myself. I know I do that. I just, you know, if you're scared of heights, you're just scared of heights. There's no rational thing to it. I know I've got to get these rides out, so the trailer thing has changed. I'm not doing as much as what I've done. I'm going to show you what today was the kicker, because I bought this bloody paint here, Septone Hammer Finish Charcoal. That's charcoal. That's what the trailer was. I'd painted it charcoal the previous time. And I tell you what, this is not charcoal you're going to see. So I haven't got any footage of me doing the tyres or the trailer and the axle. I've just been trying to hammer this shit out. First thing I'm going to do is beauty the tyres or the rims. They have got the metal bloody satin black on them. They've come up bloody ripper, no worries at all. Done deal. So let's go to the trailer. Rightio, so before I show you the trailer, so you'll notice these are all cleaned up, painted, protected. I've got new high tensile bolts, nylock nuts. But you'll notice that the springs are still on the bottom. That's the way they're staying for now. Next time I do a revamp, I'll most probably swap them over. But here is the charcoal grey. And I don't know about you guys, that is not charcoal grey. That's like a dark silver, so I'm pissed off, really pissed me right off. Because that's just, I know for most people, and like Nay says, it's fine, it's whatever, it's, you know, I have a particular vision in my head, and this is not what I wanted. So what I've done is I've just put a full coat all over it. I'm going to get the Metal Shield satin black, and that's what it's going to get painted. I'll do it with aerosol cans. This has only got the one coat on it. I did the whole rust conversion as much as I could. You know, all under the bloody guards and stuff have been done. So I'm calling this a protection coat. This was really good paint. It's very fast. It dries really, really fast. Puts a nice thick coating, like it feels really good. I think it's going to do a really good job from that protection. It was just the bloody colour, and I tell you, I had another problem with Septone. In the aerosol, I got satin black, and in actual fact, that is satin black. My arse it is. That is gloss black. So, Septone, eat my shorts. Right. Cool, so I've still got to get another coat of paint on this. The spare tyre, which I'll obviously get painted up as well, we've now decided to remove one of these off. So I've got water. We used to have petrol there, but we stopped actually. We used to have petrol there and petrol here. I've removed one of those out, but we hardly ever had to use petrol. So the petrol's now going to be up there as the backup petrol for the guys, and I started having 3 lots of water and 1 petrol. So now I'm still going to have the 3 waters, petrol up on top of the Jeep, and that is going to get mounted here. I've got to cut this out, lower it down to there. I'll weld up a piece in here, which will have like a bracket to hang on to the spare tyre. In actual fact, I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to hold it there for you. I've just got to have it so that it sits down lower for that to work. So I'm just going to drop that down. So that will solve the problem of the spare tyre, where I'm going to put the spare tyre, because I didn't want to carry it on the Jeep anymore. It's just added weight up there when I don't have the trailer on and we're just in the Jeep. So that's going to go there. When I put that box on, the box will get mounted here. I will have a piece of either aluminium on the inside, so it makes it a sturdier, which is what I did with the other one, and I'll weld on here some plate, which will then connect onto there. I did have someone saying about they've done the same thing and all the welds have cracked. Now Chappie got a new Hilux work ute, and he's old. They couldn't get the new boxes, so he had to get his old ones to get put into the new Hilux, but he had to get them all re-welded because all the welds had broken around it. So hopefully, and what I'm doing, which I did this here, this is like a foam. So I'm going to keep that there, and I had foam along there which I ripped off. I'm going to put it back, and hopefully that takes a lot of the vibration out. I don't know, but we'll find out. That's what I'm doing. Cool. So I'm slowly getting there, guys, but yeah, it's just crazy. I've also found a so that's the ramp that goes on the trailer. I've found another one that I can get, and actually it's super cheap. There's a whole bloody story with that. I was on MX Store and they've got ramps, but they don't give you dimensions of when it's folded up. They don't tell you the weight of what it is. So it was like, well, too bad. I checked out super cheap, and hey presto, they gave me everything. So the new one that I get is pretty much exactly the same, except it's half the weight of that, and at least half the size the way it folds down. Now, granted, that one there I think does 320 or 320 kilograms of the weight, whereas the one at Super Cheap only does 220. But I think for the amount of times that we use it, and when we do use it, there's plenty of us to, you know, help a bike on a not, you know, big heavy bike or whatever. The other thing is that I've always got something that I can put in the middle of it to take that extra weight if we need to. So I just think having the less weight, that's all I ever talk about. Less weight, less weight. Rightio, guys, we've got a win. And that is, we had a whole heap of rain, and this thing, shut that down, this thing has been sitting out here and it copped it. We had about, I think it was like over 80 mil coming down on one day, and this has been sitting out here. And so obviously, since I've done all that silicone, opened it up, and hey presto, it was bone dry. Bloody ripper. Right, so I'll just check that out. This turned up in the mail, so that's from B&B Off-Road. They have given that to Chappie. He got that all for free with the bloody engraving. That is absolutely brilliant. I've got lights coming. I've got to still get a switch for the lights, and Chappie's got a few extra bits and pieces. Oh, he's got blinkers, LED blinkers. He wants to change the blinkers from those shitty ones that well, they're not shitty, but the other ones that he put on. There was a few other bits and pieces, so we'll get that done before too long. There's a video coming out with, Kent came over with the KTM 690, spent pretty much the bloody day doing a whole heap of mods on his bike. There was an airbox mod, there's emissions mod pulling. It's just, it's crazy. We were going to kind of like do it as a step by step, but it just got crazier and crazier, and then we're missing pipes, and so anyway, I've got that coming. Righto, cool. Hey, Nay went out bloody shopping and she bought me something. Let's turn on the TV and see what we got. I've got to turn me, you can't see what I've got because that'll give it away. Come on, TV. Do it. Hey, what's this? Space Invaders. Ha! I was talking to Pete about it, and he reckoned he was a bit of a gun back in the day, and he could clock it. He could actually still remember that apparently when you, so many, like 21 shots in, and then when the thing goes across the top, oh, I bloody just got killed. If you hit him on the 21st one, you get an extra 500 bonus points or something like that. But yeah, there you go. New little arcade game in the man cave. Rightio guys, it's time for mailbag. Right, so we have got something in the mail. I'll show you the stickers. So we have that one there. Royal Canadian Air Force. Whoop. And obviously bloody squadron bloody something. Oh, look at that. You can see the camera. Right. Short lookers on. Dear Mark, I just wanted to write a quick letter thanking you for the great content on YouTube. Originally, I only watched your DR650 content as I own a 2016 model myself, but have since enjoyed your videos so much I watch them all and look forward to your uploads every week. I am currently serving with the Royal Canadian Air Force and have sent along a couple of zappers from previous units. So they're all different. So yeah, these two are obviously particular units in the Air Force. I've also included the RCAF Rundell, which is similar to the Royal Australian Air Force logo with a maple leaf in the centre. I believe yours has a kangaroo. So yes, so we have that exact thing, but with the kangaroo. But it's funny because when Pete was around, I don't know, a week or two ago, he gave me a couple of stickers, and that's the Royal Australian Air Force logo, but there is that other one as well, but this is what he gave me. Yeah, so there you go, bloody ripper. Right, so what I'm going to do, where did it go? I lost it. There it is. We'll go and whack it up on the board. Rightio guys, I just did this and I didn't have the bloody sound going. Oh, for Christ's sake. Australia, Canada, all the way up there. I've got no room to put. So what I've done is I've put him down there. Look at that. Boom. So after all that, I don't think I said it was Mike. Mike from Canada sent that in, and Mike is the very first person to send a self-addressed envelope. Obviously, he didn't put a stamp on it, because normally if you do a stamp, obviously in Australia, but obviously if you're in, obviously, do I have to say obviously? It's quite obvious that I say obvious a lot, isn't it? The overseas guys can't, I don't know how, I wouldn't know how to do it. If I was to send a self-addressed envelope to America, what stamp would I put on it? So obviously international guys don't have to put the stamp on it. I'll wear that cost. So I'll be sending Mike a sticker in the mail tomorrow. Cool. Rightio guys, it's time for BB news and shit. And what's the first thing? KLR 650. Check. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Check this out. Bloody hell. So KLR has been brought back from the dead. So this is going to be 2022. They've got 4 models of this KLR 650. I'm not going to go into any detail on it. They've obviously done some upgrades, like fuel injection, one of the big things. It looks really cool. It's still cheap. I'm trying to put a positive on this. There's a big negative to it. If you want a cheap tourer bike that'll get you off more so into the off-road stuff, this I think is a really great bike. But unfortunately, what is it? 210 kilograms. It's even heavier than what it was before. So when you're teeing it up against, the DR650 or the old XR650, that it's gone so much further away from that middle thing. So that was bit disappointing, but it's good to have the old girl back. Righto, so a quick shout out to the new crew members. Here they are. Bloody ripper. Good on you, fellas. Rightio, so now what we've got to do is check out what the crew guys have been doing out and about. And I think the first one we've got here is Aussie Bob. There he is. And so what have we got? Di and myself had a day ride to Merry Gum. Pete, do you reckon this looks a little bit bloody familiar? What's at Merry Jig, you ask? Not too much, but the weather was perfect. On our way there, we checked out the solo art at Colbinaban. Di on her 2018 Honda CB500X and me on the 2020 Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro. Yeah, they're really awesome silos, eh? Bloody crazy. And look at that, Bob and Di. Bloody ripper, guys. And good on you, Di. Look at that. Brilliant. Righto, next one we've got here is from Kent, Grampians Ride. Headed over to Natty Muck from Bendigo with a mate to my brother's place. Hooked up with him and did a day trip to the Grampians, KTM 690, DR 650, KTM 990 and a Honda Dominator 650 old bike club reg. Did manage to fall off 3 times in 30 metres, lol. Some steep tracks in the Grampians. Now, Kent, what the hell are you doing? So you went to the now I know it was tough keeping up on those bloody on the steep stuff, but this is the photo that you get when you went to the Grampians. You need a photography lesson. Good on you, mate. Righto, 2 Up camping on a new bike. This is Daniel Trail. Recent trip out testing our gear, 2 Up camping on a new to me Kawasaki Mean Streak. We headed up to Wahi Gorge, Canterbury, New Zealand, only around 40 minutes from home. One of my favourite spots here. That looks pretty cool. And I tell you what, doing 2 Up bloody camping on a motorcycle, it's a bit of a struggle, so well done. Right, and you've got your bloody pack. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Once tent was pitched, we made some dinner, watched the sun go down, and then got some marshmallows on the fire. Kent, are you taking note of these pictures? Look at that. Oh, that's awesome. Bloody ripper. Oh, look at that. Classic. Brilliant. Good times. Need to work on our packing a bit, as there was talk of getting a trailer to pull behind the bike. Yeah, and look, it is. It really is hard doing camping 2 Up on a bike. You've really got to hone everything in. Spend money to get bloody all the cheap, lightweight, compact stuff, unfortunately. Yeah, but it can be bloody done. Obviously, you did it. Good on yous. Rightio, we've got Coney, Pyrenees State Forest, Karakara National Park, Teddington Hut. Look at that. That's a very familiar sight. What do we got? Hey, Mark and Nay spent the day out exploring Pyrenees State Forest, Karakara National Park, and checked out Teddington's Hut. Cheers, Mick. Brilliant. Good on you, Coney. Think. I have, other news is that I have been working on the rides stuff. I'm still working on the rides. I've been starting to do the website. I'm doing the stuff behind the scenes. I haven't published anything. I'm just going to quickly bring up my index page. So we've got the Castlemaine Ramble. Yeah, see, this is why I'm bloody panicking and putting so much pressure on myself. Like, I've got it down for the 27th and 28th of February. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to push that one out a little bit further. I got the Bendigo Ramble, the 20th and 21st of March, which will be sweet for that. But remember, nothing's set in stone until I upload this. We've got the Dual Sport Expedition, Cameron's Corner. I know I said about not going out of the state, but this is something I'm working on. This is the Hell Gates ride. So I'm just been playing around with that one, and I'm playing around with that one being a supported ride, whereas last year we were planning on doing it but only having, I don't know, I think about 7 guys going and unsupported. This time I'm planning on doing it, having the Jeep and the trailer following behind, and that way we can have 12 riders on that one. But that's all up in arms with, depending on border closures and all that kind of stuff. August 21st and 22nd for the Bendigo Ramble again. The road bike hustle, Otways, because I said about doing the Otways one. I was going to do a ride. It wasn't going to be a supported ride, was it? No, it was not. And that was going to go across the ferry, do the Otways, blah, 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 camp somewhere or whatever. And I started getting into that, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to still do that one and swap it for a different one. Just because it's down Melbourne, it's down with tourists and all that shit. And the more I look into it, I'm going, it's not something I think that I should do with a whole heap of bikes and a tour type of thing. I think get away from the crowded areas when doing that. I think it will just become a nightmare. It might become just a tag along ride that I do instead. But anyway, and then of course there's tag along rides and on all that kind of shit. And yes, for those guys with the GA stashes, we still haven't got out to do those. Clearly I'm flat out at the minute, but hopefully I'm swimming and not just dog paddling. Righto, back to the bloody man cave. Well, there you go, guys. That is Man Cave Tuesday done and dusted for another week. Hope you all enjoyed it. Remember, keep on riding, and if you ain't riding, keep on keeping on.